You have found Authentic Business Adventures, the business program that brings you the struggle stories and triumphant successes of business owners across the land. Downloadable audio episodes can be found in the podcast link found at drawincustomers.com. Today we're welcoming / preparing to learn from Victoria Thayer of Novii CPA, which, you know, everybody loves taxes, so we figured we should talk to Victoria here. So Victoria, how are you doing today?
Amazing. Thank you so much for the invitation today, and it's a pleasure to connect with all of you.
Yeah, this is exciting. You know, I guess my friend Jenna.
Yes,
and
amazing.
You were just talking to me, I guess, off the air about a meeting that you had with her, and that was a trigger, or she just kicked you in the shin to start your own business? Tell me a story about how that happened.
Yes, so I was talking to Jenna, our mutual friend, and I met her at a networking event. She's amazing. You should follow her. And she was starting asking me about what my goals were in the future. And I started thinking, oh yes, like I want to do this and this, but then the way I thought it was the traditional way to get there was not exactly what I truly wanted. And sometimes it is hard to acknowledge that we want something and say it out loud.
Okay.
I guess sometimes we're just scared. Like, oh, maybe
fear's big.
Yeah,
big, huge.
Maybe it's too big. Maybe it's too big for me. Can I really do that? Oh, who do I think I am to be able to do that? So those were the fears I had, and she helped me kind of uncover it and be like, I think you truly want to do this. You just are afraid to say it.
All right.
So she really helped me like see that, and it was only a couple months after that coffee that we had together that quit my job and started my own adventure for good or for bad.
Yeah, right? Well,
yes,
for good. Right.
Exactly.
There's some bad thrown in there, but that's just nature of the beast.
Yes.
So you own your own CPA firm.
Correct.
So to me, that seems like a challenging first business. I don't know anything about CPAs other than I have to pay them a lot of money once a year. But outside of that, for a first business, I feel like the knowledge that you have to have for that is just books upon documents and all that kind of stuff. So you're doing your tax CPA, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
All
yes.
right.
So, but you're spot on. A lot of professional services are very hard to be like the first business to start because all we're selling is hours. So there is a limit on how many hours we can do. And so my value proposition was based on creating a relationship with the client. So the services that I provide are accounting services, as well as tax services, tax planning. So what I try to bring to the table is create that relationship with the client so that we're working with them every month, creating financial statements, or every quarter, depending on their needs. But that allows me to bring something to the table that is not like an autopsy, that at the end of the year, you bring me your box of stuff and you're like, here it is, this is what happened. Like, that's not what I want. I want to be able to have this ongoing communication with you about like, hey, what is your business doing now? How can we be proactive and actually treat the patient when it's sick instead of like when it's dead and I cannot do anything at that point.
Okay. So prevent the cancer.
Exactly, prevent the cancer. No, like let's not treat the sickness. So that was my value proposition, and you were spot on with like professional services and selling hours can be very challenging. So that's why I created this bundle of services, and I use a subscription model. Because for me, from the beginning, I knew I didn't want to be self-employed. I always wanted to become a business owner.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah,
instead of owning the job.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. So for me, that was very clear. So I knew that I wanted to use value pricing and have a subscription base, which allowed me to kind of like bring on team members more easily because I'm not just kind of like at the mercy of like, am I going to have a couple clients? Are they going to need me next month? I have a constant cash flow every month that I can use projections to see the health of my own business.
Okay.
So yeah.
So when you put together your business plan, how did you figure that out? Or let me back up a step before we answer that. You were working as a CPA before.
Correct.
Was the firm you were working for, were they doing this?
They were using mostly hourly.
Okay.
And when they use fixed fee, it was only for financial statements, not for the whole bundle of services. So, and with hourly, the issue is that either the client gets an extra bill that they're never happy about, and that stopped, like, this is something that I experienced with all my prior jobs. Clients will be scared of like, oh, I don't want to ask them something because I'm going to get a bill.
Yeah,
when
you're afraid.
yeah, they're afraid, and,
yeah.
and I don't blame them. And like sometimes it's like nothing against the lawyers, but sometimes you give a call.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
And like you're charged per like the half an hour or things like that. So I was noticing that there was that need in the market from my prior experiences. So I want to do things a little bit different. So that's why I decided to take this approach. A little bit different, but I have followed a couple other CPA firms in California and in other states that are really moving forward with this kind of value pricing and kind of subscription model. So I was like, okay, like I haven't seen that many here in Madison, so I wanted to bring this kind of like relationship subscription approach to the accounting and tax industry.
All right. Yeah. So, it's interesting. You mentioned the attorney thing, but I remember I had a call with an attorney, this is a few years ago, and he's like, hey, James, beautiful day. And I'm like, we don't have time to talk about the weather, buddy. Not at your rates. We got to get down to business here.
Yeah, don't ask about anything else.
Yeah, just strict black and white, let's go. We don't need to talk about the birds or anything. So you have a subscription model. So how do you figure out with a small business or a client that you're working with, what is their ideal package or something of that nature, since some businesses are organized and others are space cadets? And I imagine even if you went on revenue, a retail business is going to have thousands of transactions, where a service-based business, like a business like yours, I imagine, is going to have dozens or hundreds of transactions, which should be, in theory, simpler. So how do you figure that out?
Right. So when we are connecting with a new client, with a new prospect, we have a discovery call. During that discovery call, we kind of see what are the pain points, what the industry they have, what accounting software they're using. And after that, we can tell if we can actually add value to them or not. After that, it comes the second kind of like step. If we find that, okay, we believe we can add value to them, then we require them to send us their last 2 years, prior 2 years of tax returns, their financial statements, and that gives us an information. And if we're going to be doing payroll, like same thing, payroll information. If we're doing like the sales tax, same information. How many states are they filing at? And with that information, then we can take a guess on how much time it will take to prepare those. So again, it's like a betting game.
All right.
So it's like a betting game that, okay, we think that this is how much it's going to take. This is what we're going to like give them the value proposition for. And the other thing that we do is like we create a tier structure as well. So not only is a subscription, but we also have packages. So we have a basic, a plus, and a pro. And the basic package will always meet the needs of the business owner. But the plus package will have some extra additional services, like let's say like budgeting, forecasting. And then the pro package will have like things more constant, like instead of having a quarterly meeting, we'll have a monthly meeting. But again, we try to really tailor, no one package will look the same from one prospect to the other.
Gotcha.
Because like you mentioned, like some clients are just like a sole proprietor, they work as a consultant, they don't really need all these like monthly financial statements and all these other like ongoing support. They only need like quarterly or semi-annual plus their tax returns. They just need someone that they can call on if they are thinking of like, hey, I'm doing a presentation this date, does that create nexus? Things like that, like, or someone that can be proactive about like, hey, this tax law is coming on, like we think it's going to affect you, this is how. So that they don't feel like they're just like in the darkness, but they know that they have us in their corner. So that's kind of how we evaluate how to create those packages.
Yeah. All right. So how long ago did you start this business?
5 months ago.
5 months ago.
Yes.
All right. And has business been going well?
Yes, has been going well, has been blessingly busy. Yes, has been very, very exciting, but has been going great. The Madison community has been amazing.
Just as a startup?
Yes,
okay.
Yes. A lot of people from networking, and that's why I always say like networking, connecting truly with people has been so important. Like people that I met from years ago, once they knew that I started my own firm, they kind of became like ambassadors.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so just connecting me with like opportunities where we can add value. And surprisingly, also LinkedIn has been a great resource for clients.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have clients that are not even in Wisconsin, and they found us through LinkedIn.
Wow.
Yeah, so
All right.
definitely do not underestimate LinkedIn.
So is this paid marketing or
No,
just organic?
Organic, yes,
Wow.
organic. So yes, I have been very, very happy with that. That's also why I try to keep being constant on it.
Okay.
Yes.
So tell me, let's just dig down
Uh-huh.
the LinkedIn road a little bit
Yes.
here, because there's, I don't know, thousands of CPAs, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe not as prolific as mortgage brokers, but quite a few. So how do people find you on LinkedIn? And are they actively looking for a CPA and they're just digging around? There's something they like about you or your firm? How are they finding you?
Yeah, so what they have said is like people have liked my posts in my personal LinkedIn.
Okay.
So not the firm's one, because the firm trying to be a little bit more focused on taxes or things like that. For me, since I have started to kind of like share my own journey, people give it a like, repost them, and that's how they have find it. And then they're always like, oh, I was just trying to find a new CPA. And then you just showed up, and then we really enjoy how you approach the CPA industry. So yeah.
All right. Interesting. That's cool. Tell me about tax code and how this is one of those things that just this is one of those
It gives you the
things.
chills, but it gives me excitement.
That is crazy. Okay. This is one of those things that blows my mind because the tax code is so long that it seems like it would be impossible for any one person to know it.
Right.
Yet every time you do your taxes every year, you're supposed to just know it. So how does that work? I guess from me, the little peons of the world that hand their stuff to professionals and just say, take care of this, let me know what I owe, or hopefully I get a refund, but let me know what I owe, kind of thing. We just expect that the people that you hand it to know what they're doing. And I have had accountants after accountants that said, oh my gosh, why did this guy do this? And I'm like, you're asking the wrong guy. I don't know why they did that. They told me they knew what they were doing. So I paid them and whatever.
Yes, no.
So how, as the CPA world, right, you and all the other people that are CPAs, how do they keep track of all the stuff, the rules, the changes, the game?
Yes, no, absolutely. So as you know, like the tax law changes every single year. So they try always to keep us on our toes. But as a license holder, you're supposed to take CPE, which is continuing education. So we have to take certain amount of hours every single year to keep up with the new changes. And as well that I think that like just because like we are professionals and we're bringing this value to the table, it's like, yes, we may not remember exactly like what is the percentage of like mileage for like how's it changing this year, but we know where to find the information. As well as like we have the resources to be able to find them more easily than it will be to like a person that is not as well versed on that. And then of course like there's some areas that we definitely need to have the continuing education, like research and development credits, for example. Those keep changing. Those are very complex that if we don't spend the time on doing them, it is almost like negligent of ours to take on those clients if we don't feel we have enough knowledge. Yeah, definitely.
So there's some industries where you're just like, hey, that's more
right,
specific.
absolutely, yes. And there is like some industries where it can be more complex that that is better to give it to like a bigger client, like a bigger firm that has more knowledge base. Yes, absolutely.
So when I look at a form like a 1040 or Schedule C or K or whatever, when the rules change, do those forms always change? Or do they expect you to just know the rules and fill in the blank?
Oh no, all those forms change, and like nowadays, like all the tax softwares get updates every single tax season with the new law. So they should be getting all the updates. I mean, once in a while you'll find out that like, oh my God, they didn't like make the update, but then they will let you know and then they will let you resubmit it as an amendment.
Okay.
But they should all be updating with all the tax laws.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What are some of the mistakes that you've seen people, business owners, make in regards to taxes working with their CPA?
Yeah, so I think that the main one is staying as a Schedule C forever and ever.
Oh.
So I always tell people like, no, because you did something last year means that it's the right thing to do for this year.
Okay.
Like we need to look at things with fresh eyes every single year. So we cannot just continue on with life. Oh, is that because that's what I did last year? What happens is like in a lot of times, an entrepreneur will start as a Schedule C because because they didn't have much income. They say like, okay, it's simple. Let's just stay like that. They continue growing and never change the way that they're reporting their taxes. And what happens is that in a Schedule C, they're paying self-employment taxes in the entire net income because they're not paying themselves a salary. They're paying self-employment taxes, which is like the FICA taxes, Medicare, and Social Security. Both
15
ends.
point something. Yeah.
Both sides, right? Employer and employee side. That's what they're paying on top of net income, like on the actual ordinary income tax as well. So what happens is that some entrepreneurs will stay in this way until they're making like $300,000 net income. And it's like, you're paying so much in self-employment taxes that it will make more sense for you to switch to an S corporation, for example.
Okay.
And pay yourself a reasonable salary. And then only pay your FICA on that amount. The employer portion becomes a deduction for the business. And then you're only paying like the actual ordinary income tax on the net income after you take out your wages.
All right.
So that's another way that like to save money that some people like just stay in the same way forever and ever. But again, like you have to look at your specific situation. And that's why like having your tax professional look at your situation is great, and also doing it in a proactive way so that you're not just like at the end like scrambling on April 14 like okay, let's just get the information and let's just get it done. No, but actually thinking through it. Yes.
All right. Interesting. So the clients that you've worked with before when you were at the firms, I don't know how many you were at before.
Firms.
The firms that you were at before compared to the clients that you have now, what has been the major difference between the two?
I think, see, this is a big difference, and also a pro, I think, is that now that I have my own firm, I get to decide who I work with.
Oh.
And, you know, I'm not being handed down like clients, but actually I'm attracting the clients that also have the same energy levels, per se. They all, usually the clients that I'm working with now, they all want to grow. They all want a proactive advisor. Some of my clients before used to be more like a compliance. So they were like, just give me my information, like, bye.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
So that's not really rewarding for me either.
No. Okay.
So I'm attracting those type of clients that are like, and we have like from solopreneurs to like big biotech companies, but all of them have that mentality of like, hey, we want you to become an extension of our own team. And that has been the main difference that I have noticed with our current clients. Yes.
All right. So when you're working with clients, what are the types of clients that they come to you and you're like, oh my gosh, this is awesome because they got whatever, stuff in order? Or what are the clients that are not so great because they just come to you with a shoebox? How do you tell if they're going to be a good client or not at that point, or before you get to that point, I guess? Right.
So that's the key importance in the discovery call of like evaluating. So we have questions like that. We're paperless. We have a client portal. Everything is cloud-based. So we require all of our clients to be in QuickBooks Online, and if they're not, to be willing to switch into it. Same thing, and we have these conversations during the discovery call to understand like how willing are they to be paperless. We don't do shoebox. Have done my fair share of shoeboxes. And since we're like a hybrid firm, it is easier for all of us to be able to work and keep going, getting things done if everything is paperless, everything is submitted through the client portal. So yeah, so the not so ideal clients are the people that are very based on paper, people that are like, this is how I have been doing it for the last 20 years, so I will keep doing it the same way. Those are not our ideal clients. In the other hand, the ideal clients are the ones that are very like forward thinking, they want that advice. They're very tech savvy in the way that like they can do everything through the web. And that, yes, and that they're just wonderful and amazing people that just want to keep growing. Those are like or key and like or favorite type of prospects.
All right. Tell me about employees. You mentioned that you have 5 employees now, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. One, how do you find them? Because it's not just like you're trying to find somebody that's flipping burgers or something like that. You're trying to find somebody that's doing a lot of stuff with numbers that could cost or help make a client a lot of money.
Yes.
Either direction. So, and that comes down to you because you don't want an employee to mess that up.
Right, because they become an extension of your own.
Yeah.
And
so
what
how do
the
you
firm
find
stands.
them?
Yeah. So I have gotten a little bit lucky, and I may not have this luck moving forward, but all our current team members met me outside of me posting for a job. So
Okay.
one of them, I worked with her before. The others, like they met me, they actually were working at a bank, and they met me there, like outside of like me posting a job. And once they figured out I was looking for team members, they kind of jumped into the idea. And again, because like I'm competing with big firms. So for me, it's like what I'm trying to sell in the same way that I'm trying to sell my value proposition to clients, I'm trying to sell it to the team members. Because again, like I'm a startup business. I mean, it's very risky still. And it's kind of like selling them in the idea of like, why are we here? Why are we doing what we're doing? And kind of like selling them in the idea like, hey, like this is the vision. You bet that I'm gonna work super hard on this. And I will do whatever it takes to get us going and get us where we want to get. And kind of because they knew that kind of like persistency about me outside of like the job posting, they kind of knew like, oh, yes, I kind of buy in that idea. I want to join the team now because they see the potential that we have of becoming something bigger.
All right.
Yes.
So that goes back to the goals. When you and Jenna met, you were talking about your goals.
Yes.
So what are the goals that you were after that led to this, you starting your own business?
Yeah, so I wanted to start like something from scratch. This is why as well, when I was thinking back, I'm like, why did I ever think of following a partner track if I always wanted to create something out of nowhere? Like, that's something that I admire about entrepreneurs. It's like, they have like a vision, there is nothing. It's like a white canvas and they get to create something. So I always admire that and I wanted to do that. And I knew like in a bigger ship, it is harder to move the ship because it's already super big. But in my tiny boat right now, I get to like, if I'm trying something new, if it does not work out, I can just turn around. Like it's not that big of a deal in that point that like I try new things, see if they work out, they don't, then I move to the other direction. And so that has been kind of like the interesting thing that when we had that conversation with Jenna, I realized, hey, like, no, I want to create something from scratch.
All right.
And so I think that was the main reason. And my overall vision is to create a firm, like a 40 team member firm. I kind of try to visualize it and, like I'm going after that, being able to provide that relationship-based CPA service and here in the Madison community. And yes, so that's what we're going after and one day at a time and yes.
Right on. That's very cool. So does that make you the salesperson?
Right now a couple months ago, this was the salesperson, the marketing person, the CPA person, the everything person. But right now I'm still the salesperson. And yes, but hopefully as we keep growing, we have more salespeople because I don't want to be a sole proprietor. Like my goal is to eventually have partners so that we can serve a bigger audience. Because again, like at the end of the day, right now I'm signing all the tax returns. I'm overseeing everything because it's me, like pretty much like the only owner. But eventually, I would love to have partners to be able to serve more and not become this bottleneck.
Sure. Yeah, build one rung at a time. Tell me, you mentioned the partner thing with CPA firms, and I take that back. I vaguely understand how that works. So if you're a CPA, you join a firm, tell me about how you become partner and what does that even mean?
Yeah, so we were kind of in the dark, you until a couple months ago, because I always used to think that once you become partner, you walk in clouds and everything is just rainbows and hearts. And I used to think that after that, there was just like pretty much like whiteness. It was death, pretty much like that was like the top. I saw someone going through that process and nothing really changed. On the way that bigger firms, you have a lot of different partners, so your opinions are very diluted. You get to buy in a percentage that the other partners agree. Usually there is someone like retiring that you're buying into their shares. But again, like there's always going to be a managing partner who makes usually most of the decisions. And then it's just like a big group making decisions. So it's like if you have ideas and you want to try new things, it's like any other bigger organizations. It is a lot of bureaucracy. It takes more time to get things moving. So for me, like I understand why that works for a lot of people, but for me, because I wanted to try so many different things, it was not going to work out for what my vision was.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So the partnership, the partner owns a chunk of the business?
Correct.
Okay. So does that make them more difficult to get rid of?
Oh, a little bit, yes.
Because I imagine sooner or later there's going to be a partner that drops the ball or does something wrong or something like that.
I mean, you can still get out, but it's more difficult, yes. It's not like a W-2 that you're just 2-week notice. Bye.
Okay. And then with the partnership, is it, is there some big round table where they meet once a month and try to make all the decisions, and partners that have been there longer have more clout or get more voting power or something like that? Or is it based on percentage?
Yeah, so it would depend on each firm.
It does? Okay.
Yes,
there's not some universal...
No, there's not something universal. It would depend on each firm and who has voting rights and who doesn't. And usually the managing partner will make any final decisions, so kind of can override everyone else's.
Oh, gotcha. Veto. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Because I see, I guess, in law firms and CPA firms and, I mean, marketing, a lot of places you see partner. And I always wondered, like, what does that mean? Is that like vice president on a bank business card? Because it seems like everybody's vice president of the bank.
I know.
But I never knew. I never knew. Because the businesses that I worked for before I started my own were either tiny or they didn't have partners or anything like that. They were way too corporate. And now it's small business. Like, if you have a partner, it's a person that you said, hey, do you want to start a business?
Exactly.
It was not some bigger thing like that.
Right. No. So here, like in the CPA world, that's what it means. But the bigger the firm is, the more partners they have, and it almost becomes the same thing as you're mentioning, like kind of the BP in the business card. So it becomes more diluted. Yeah.
So is the idea from the firm's point of view that they'll end up keeping these people?
Right.
And they won't jump ship kind of thing because, hey, you have partial ownership.
Right.
You own 1/10 of 1% of this business, so why would you leave?
Exactly. And then from the partner, like the oncoming partner perspective, then they get like a profit sharing.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Tell me, your business, you add 5 employees over the course of 5 months?
Yes.
Tell me about your first employee.
So my first employee was a staff accountant. And again, like for me, was thinking, okay, as I kept getting busier and busier, I was starting to work like Monday to Monday. Like I was waking up at 2:30 a.m. to start doing some work all the way to like pretty much 11 p.m. Started being like a lot that I knew that I needed more help. So for me, like, and kind of like the safest choice too, financially, was to, okay, let's bring someone in the kind of entry level. So I brought a staff accountant. Then that went well, and then I brought the second one, a staff accountant.
Tell me about timing.
Yes, so in between the two, like probably there was like 15 days between.
15 days?
Yes.
Holy cow.
Yeah, so those were the first two, but at the same time, like, could I at that point, it's so interesting because every time that I think about bringing a team member, I think in a perspective that like, not only what I need right now, but what I will need, like I'm always projecting ahead. So I'm like, what will I need by fall because I'm about to enter tax season?
Sure.
So every time, yes, anticipating. So I don't, because it's so hard to find employees, that I always have had that mind of like, I need to anticipate, and if I find the right person, then I'm gonna jump into it.
All right.
So when I had the second staff, probably I could have just kept one, but I was thinking ahead, was able to onboard a lot more clients doing that. But then what happened after probably couple other month, probably a month after that, I noticed like, oh, I need help with the administrative side. Then I brought on a client experience coordinator, and she has been amazing. She does the social media, she does kind of like the client portal, all of that administrative side, and she has been amazing. She came along. She was more like on her own per se because she was just amazing at everything. But like for the staff accountants, they needed my support to be able to get the work going. So I started noticing like, hey, I'm a bottleneck. So I noticed like probably like about a month ago that like, hey, this is very like, even though we have the 2 staff accountants, work is still kind of like piling up at the top because I'm still the bottleneck.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
okay.
and I was a big bottleneck. So, yeah. So then the next thing was like, oh, I need to get someone with more experience that can help me get the work moving. Because again, like I was doing the sales, I was doing all the prospecting calls, all the client meetings, and on top of that, training the staff accountants, and on top of that, reviewing all their work. So you can see how like at the beginning it started getting darker before it was like brighter.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh man, like I'm so like busy right now, and I really think that the next movement for the firm to continue to grow is to bring someone with more experience. So I hire a manager who is also CPA, and again, like I think about the business ownership. Like when I started it, I felt like I was like in a little cliff, and I was about to jump, and I'm like, oh, praise the Lord that there is hopefully water down there, and it's not rocks, that I'm not gonna just die. That's the same feeling I had when I hired the other CPA, because again, like it was financially, even though I was already comfortable with the 2 staff accountants, we were doing well, going and hiring a CPA was going to be again like, oh man, like just when I was comfortable again, here I go, a little bit like under the water because I'm thinking ahead. So I decided to jump into it and hire her. And she has been wonderful. Now I'm not a bottleneck. We have been able to take on more clients.
Oh.
And she has been able to spend more time training the staff accountant, growing the team so that they feel more comfortable. And now I have been able to sleep more, which I'm very appreciative.
Not more than 3 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. See, one victory at a time.
Yeah.
And I have been able to also like do more prospecting and kind of like finding the ideal clients for us. So yeah, so that has been wonderful, and that's kind of like the process that I have used with hiring.
Okay.
Kind of like at the moment, thinking ahead, and then like almost a month, like couple weeks later, I will be like, oh yeah, I don't know what I would have done if I did not hire this person like
Wow.
a couple weeks ago.
All right.
So yeah, and again, like same thing like you mentioned, like it's hard to like find the right team member. So whenever I see one, you know, I'm always like, yes, I need to move
Gotcha.
ahead.
Get 'em. All
Yes,
right.
exactly. And the word will come.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Totally fair. So the challenging part for me has been finding a manager that has the same, I guess there's the whole speed, there's the whole awareness, there's the whole intelligence thing. I don't mean to toot my own horn or anything, but it's just, it's hard to find good help, right?
Yeah, it is.
And I
hard to
feel like
find
it's
good
even
help.
harder to find someone to manage that help even when you find the good help. Because otherwise I find myself trying to keep up managing the crew. And I'm not the most personable when it comes to that because I'm like, get it done.
Get
right?
it done, move fast.
So if you're getting it done slow, it's not a help. So how do you find a manager or train them to be what you want them to be? Regardless, they may have the skill set, but do they have the drive or the personality or the, I'll even call it tolerance in my tolerance of me, let alone tolerance of the employees?
Yeah, I know.
How do you find, and then once you find them, how do you train that person?
Yeah, so I think that you find them through, well, I found the person that I brought as a manager, like from my own network. So
Oh, wow.
I already knew her quality of work and her drive. I knew that eventually she wanted to become also CPA, like firm owner or partner. So I knew that she wanted, like, she was pursuing something bigger.
All right.
So I had that advantage, that I already knew personally this person, and I knew that her mentality and mine align. But then, of course, to your point, I'm also more like, this may be bad, I know it's a popular opinion, but I'm like, this manager is more about work-life balance and a little bit more about that. Me, on the other hand, I'm like, give it 110% or not give anything at all. Like for me, it's like, I'm like, full speed or nothing.
No, this is a safe place. We're all entrepreneurs here, so we get it. Yeah, you got to push.
Yes,
you got to push.
Yes, exactly. So for me, it's like, for me to be able to also train her and show her like, hey, like that's important, but we need a balance, because we, as a startup, we cannot just be like, it's 5 and we're out. Like we need to do whatever it takes to give the service because we're just starting out. Like it's not like we have this huge overhead to just burn.
Right.
So for me to be able to train her, first of all, has been through like showing by my own, like kind of leading by example. And also like having the conversations with her like directly, like, hey, like this is like, I'm being very transparent. I feel like with being very transparent, I am transparent with my manager as well as with the whole team. It's like, hey, like this is how many clients we have. This is how much like the firm is making. This is like what we have to work on and like the possibilities that we have to grow. And with that, people tend to be more like, oh, I'm part of the team. So I think that with that, I kind of bring them along in my journey. And it's like, man, like this is not myself in the boat. It's like all of us are in the boat and we're not all paddling in the same way. This boat is going to sink. And we don't want that. So I think kind of bring that ownership to them too about like the firm and our future. That has really allowed me to like show her as well as the team members to kind of like, or mentality at this point, and it has been going great. And again, like if I have any feedback for her, like I give it to her immediately. But otherwise, I try to don't micromanage too much because again, like
that's so tough. That is so tough.
I know because I feel like we always want things done one way, and then sometimes things make perfect sense in my head, and I'm like, why is it not making sense to you? Like this is this.
Yeah, well, I've had the challenge of just knowing that the stuff is done. I just want to know that it's done. And so I'll check in, and sometimes people are just like, why are you checking in? I got this, right? And other times I check in, and they're like, no, we didn't do that. No, we did that. We didn't know to do that. And I'm like, okay, you can't have it both ways.
I know.
So I got to check in to make sure that it's done.
Right. Yeah, the trust has to be earned.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
You try to put systems in place, and then get people in place to follow the systems, and that doesn't always happen. Or you have to manage to make sure that they know the systems are there. Oh my gosh, the whole micromanage thing. There are times that I'll apologize to the crew and say, hey, I'm checking in on this thing. If it's taken care of, sorry for asking. But I'm thinking there's a 40-60 shot that it has not been taken care of. And a lot of times I'm right. And so it's one of those like, hey, if you do your stuff, I don't have to check in, but you're not all doing your stuff.
Right, no, absolutely. And I think that is something that the team members have to earn, like absolutely. And that's something that we have put in place as like workflows.
Yeah.
So that like, hey, like at the end of every day, you have this to do. We use Teams tasks in our computer. So all of their tasks are in there. So at the end of the day, we ask everyone to just check off everything they did so that we can all see what items are still outstanding.
Oh, sure.
So I guess that we're setting up in place different workflows that allow us to have an overview of like, hey, what's open, and so that we don't drop the ball. Because again, like we are a startup CPA firm. Like all we have is our reputation. All we have is this value proposition that we're bringing. And if we're dropping the ball now, like no one, like once we get a bad reputation, no one's going to want to do business with us. So as a business owner, I completely understand you that like we have to have those like kind of like sense of control, because at the end of the day, like, you know, it's our baby, and it's like, you know, I feel like it's an extension of ourselves, and we want to ensure.
It's your reputation.
Yeah.
Because if you mess up, or the business messes up, and employee messes up on behalf of your business, that all comes down to the top.
Right.
Right? So it's you. And so then you're the guy that messed up whatever. And you want to be like, no, it wasn't me. It was the employee that I hired and trained. And I didn't micromanage. Right? It wasn't me. So like it's totally you.
Yeah.
So you gotta
absolutely.
But I feel like there's not every employee necessarily cares or is aware. Or even if they are aware, they're just the point that we are now with employees, they know they can get a job just about anywhere else within hours.
Right.
It's different market than it was a decade ago.
Yeah, I know. So that's why like finding the key people is very, very important. Kind of attracting those people that like are looking for something more than just a paycheck. Yeah, right now, like I cannot afford those people that just want a paycheck. Like I need someone that is like willing to give the extra mile, because of again, like in a bigger firm, you're not gonna be able to be exposed to all the things that our team members right now are exposed to. Like, you don't get to talk to a client like until you are like already like a manager in a client meeting.
They don't even talk to the clients?
No.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're very like kind of like behind the curtains.
Oh,
but
wow.
here it's like we allow them to just like start learning by like, like of course I will be the one like doing the conversation in the meeting, but they will be there learning. So I feel like that's kind of like the importance of bringing the right team members, because they want to learn. They see that like, hey, this is a great opportunity for me to like learn all these things that I wouldn't be able to do otherwise in a bigger firm, and the potential of growth. Like, we are in the state that like, hey, like if you do well and you want to grow in here, hey, like the possibilities are endless to become partner sooner than you would in like a huge firm. So I think that like I'm trying to use all those things to attract the right people that are not just like in and out, but the people that really want to do more with their lives. Yeah.
I was listening to Robert Greene talk. He's the guy that wrote the 48 Laws of Power. And he was talking about, he was essentially giving advice to younger group of kids, 20-somethings, whatever. And he said, if you have the choice between going to a larger firm and being stuck in that cubicle, whatever, or a smaller firm, he might have even said flower shop as the example, I don't remember. But he said, you want to work with the smaller one, even if you get paid less, you're going to learn so much more than if you get stuck in the bigger place where you're just like, your job is this, versus a smaller place, your job is this, and you have to learn to adapt.
Yeah.
And you're going to be so much more well prepared for everything else in the future than if you're just stuck in that little thing. In that little cubicle doing like this
The
is
one
your
task.
This is your vertical. Stay there. Don't talk to the clients. Right? Don't look up from your computer.
Stay focused.
Yeah, here's your stack of paper, get to work, kind of thing.
Yes.
It was interesting, I guess, because from an employer's point of view, I think that we offer that a lot of variety for our employees. I'm like, yay. But I don't know that every employee is like, I love learning all this stuff. I love being a smarter, more well-rounded person instead of making a couple more bucks an hour.
Right. But those are not the right people then.
Right?
Yeah,
Right.
so going back to the recruiting part, it's just attracting those right people. Yeah.
Yeah, I
being
guess the
able to tell.
assumption is that there's enough people around that are interested in being smarter
Yes.
that you can find them. But that's,
I think they're out there.
well, I certainly hope so. But sometimes you talk to people and you're like, oh, what happened?
No, I have had the same realizations too. But I believe in abundance, and I think that must be a lot of them out there.
Sure.
Just a thing to find them.
Tell me, so you hired people that you knew.
Yes.
Would you consider those people pre-hiring them? Were they acquaintances, friends, business associates? Where were they at?
Like business associates.
Okay.
Yeah.
So people you knew, but it was just whatever.
Like
on a
they were no
professional level?
they were no like, oh, my best friend. No.
Okay.
No.
So
Yeah.
you went through an interview process, and there was a point there when you were thinking to yourself, there's a chance this person won't get the job because they may say something, or they may have some quality that I don't like, whatever that is. Okay, it wasn't like they were a shoe-in. Hey, I know you, I saw you once at the train, whatever. Come on, have a job.
No.
Okay.
So, and none of them, all of them, like they reached out, like after they knew that I was looking for people, they reached out saying, hey, I'm actually interested in learning more.
All right.
And I kind of knew their background stories too, and they align with my stories too.
Okay.
Of like, kind of like, I am the first, like, my family, my mom was a maid. So like, for me, like I came here to the United States and through education have been able to kind of improve my life.
Yeah.
So for me, like those people that are looking for like, like doing something different, improving their lives, and I knew all of them were all about that, I was like, oh, they have the soft skills. Going back to that, I'm
All
like,
right.
the staff accountant may not be like, does he know the tax code? No, but can that be taught? Yes. Soft skills cannot. Like being able to be
Totally
like,
true.
to be able to like be ambitious, to be able to be like disciplined, consistent with their work, those are things that cannot really be taught. Either they're in there or they're not, which that's what I try to see on someone on those like kind of like interview questions. It's like, it's the soft skills. I really don't care if you don't know the tax code. We can work on teaching you that. But
Right.
if you like the other way around, you can be super smart, but if you are like in and out and you don't really care, and you're like, at the moment that someone else gives me like $1 more per hour,
Right.
I'm out, like I don't really want that.
No, no, not at all.
So for me was that. However, I do have to say the client experience coordinator that we have at Novii, she actually, I found her through a UW job posting, and I did not know her.
Okay.
However, but sometimes I feel like somehow everything works out because I put the job posting, I loved her resume, went for a coffee with her, and again, she was like, yes, like after talking to you, I'm just so intrigued about like being in a startup and that entrepreneurship, like kind of like vibe and working side by side, like it's like kind of like one of those shows where you see like those like very startup businesses. That's how our office is set up. Like we're 5 desks, all of us like sitting right next, like in a circle, right next to each other.
In a circle?
Yeah, like it's like a little, like it's like a square circle type thing. And then we're all working in there side by side.
Facing each other?
We're not facing each other, facing the other way, yeah. Okay. But we're there, like it's very much like that type, like whiteboard, like let's write ideas, and yeah, so that kind of feel like you would never get like in a big CPA.
No.
So for her, she told me that really sold her, and she's currently doing her master's. So yes, so that one, I did not know her beforehand. But when we met, we really clicked because of like that eagerness to like grow in a team.
All right.
Yeah, and that kind of like, hey, we get to build this plane together as we fly it. So now we need windows. Let's grab the windows because we're about to be going through the windows. Yeah.
That is cool. You know, it's interesting because my crew, everyone's remote across the country. And I miss that, having the office where you could walk in there and there was just the energy. Good energy, I know. And you could ask somebody something and the team could banter about it, whatever. I miss that.
Yeah.
Now we're using Slack and Zoom and
it's not the same.
Not the same. Not the same.
Yeah, that's something that I will eventually get used to because right now we're in person pretty much every day because we're trying to figure out our own systems, our own workflow. But eventually we're shooting to be like a hybrid firm. Okay. So that we don't always have to be in person. We can work from home. So I'm sure I'm gonna miss it then because I just love that energy, like you're saying, like bouncing ideas with each other, or if you hear some of them like struggling with something and you know it, then you can just like help them out. So yeah, no, definitely. Oh. I hope we stay in person as long as we can.
Yeah, right? That's super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool. So tell me, you're 5 months in, you have 5 employees. Things at this point, would you consider them stable, growing, chaotic?
A little bit of both.
All right.
Of the 3 of them.
Sure.
Stable in the way that like now we have workflows in place. We have a system of how we do discovery calls, how we onboard a client, how like we do everything as a firm. Definitely more stable.
All right.
Growing in the way that we're still accepting new clients. Yes, we're still growing. We're being a little bit more kind of like not, I wouldn't say selective, but trying to be more focused on who our ideal clients are and not going by after any like shining object.
Gotcha.
Making sure that it's a right fit. So I would say we're still growing, and chaotic, yes, for sure. We're still 5 months in. Like I'm still trying to figure out a lot of other things too as we keep growing. It's like every time we face a new challenge. Like for example, when I had more team members, I got some pushback from some clients being like, "Oh, I thought you were going to be the one doing everything."
Oh yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah, and I'm like, "Oh no, like this is actually for like the staff account is going to help you with your day to day. The accounting manager is just to make sure everything goes along, keeps moving, and in case something like a bus hits me, you're not left in the dark. Yeah, like you have someone there who continue to serve you. And of course, I'm here like doing your tax return, like reviewing everything, and I'm going to be having the meetings with you. But yeah, that was a learning experience because people thought that I was going to be a self-employed person forever, even though I try to always, that's what also I call it Novii. I didn't call it Victoria Thayer CPA, like SC, like, no, like I always knew I wanted a firm, and every time I referred to the businesses, it's a firm.
Right.
It's a firm, and I have always tried to keep that in all like the social media, and whenever I talk to prospects, it's like, it's a CPA firm. so that they know that, hey, it's not me, we're a team. So that was, for example, like a new learning opportunity for me to be able to kind of like manage how to change that mentality for some clients. But again, just like that, every single week I get like some other like learning opportunity. So every single week I feel like a little bit in chaos. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to do.
A little new education here.
Yes, exactly. So yes, the highs are highs and the lows sometimes are lows.
Fair, totally fair. Yeah, I can remember I had my printer repair company that I started way back when, and it was just me, and then eventually I added technicians, and it was pretty quick after I got that first technician that the client calls me up and they're like, I thought I was getting you. And I'm like, yeah, you couldn't get me forever. Like, you just can't, right? Sooner or later I'm going to die. And if this business is going to make any money, we have to grow. So in the end, it's just a printer. It really doesn't matter who fixes it. So, it was interesting because I totally did not expect that call.
Right, same thing, yeah.
It was kind of interesting because part of your mind is like, well, that's weird. But the other part is like, I kind of get it, right? You got your guy. I know a guy, right? This is the guy, and then some other person shows up. So it's interesting. So I kind of get it from their side. But on the flip side, I thought, shouldn't you be proud of me for growing this thing? I've been busting tail. But they didn't care. Yeah. You know, they just want their printer fixed, and they wanted it by the person that they knew, whatever. So just had to adapt. But I totally understand.
Yes.
Tell me about the name, though, Novii, because I don't know what that means.
Yes, no. So, again, going back to, I didn't want it to be my last name because I just wanted to kind of, like, remove myself. And that's the goal eventually, is to, like, right now I'm, like, the do-it-all, the face, the everything. But eventually I want to remove myself from the business and kind of shine the spotlight on all the other team members. So I found two Latin words, novus and vision. Right. And I combined both of them. So comes from novus and V from like vision. And then I just added another I because I thought it would look just like, I don't know, more cool, I guess.
Oh, looks cool. All right.
So so that's how like Novii came about.
All right. Very cool. So tell me,
I hope so because I put two I's.
How long did it take to find or come up with the name? Was this whole whiteboard thing, or were you just like, I had a vision in my head when I was dreaming?
Yeah, no. So it was pretty quick because honestly, like when I quit my job, I did not have a business plan. I did not have anything.
So you knew you were going to start your own business?
I kind of knew internally that I was going to, but I didn't have anything concrete.
Okay, so kind of knew.
Kind of knew. Like I knew in my heart, but I did not know for sure that I was going to do it.
Okay.
So when I quit, I was like, okay, what do I do? Do I want to go back and start over in another firm? And it was like, well, I don't really think that that's what my calling is because again, I want to create something from scratch. And then after that, once I internally realized, I think past like, I don't know, probably a couple days, like after quitting that, like, I was like, oh no, I'm going to start my own thing. Because again, I was scared. It's like, man, am I ever going to get one client? Like, and it comes imposter syndrome too about like, who do I think I am that I can find clients on my own? So then when I decided to go that route, for sure, even though I internally kind of knew, I immediately started like, okay, I need to register the business ASAP. I need to get a permit to be able to file taxes for this like new entity. I need to do all these things that will take time. And I also need a website. I also need all this stuff. And I knew that all was going to take time. And I'm like, I'm unemployed. I'm unemployed. I need to keep moving if I want to be able to turn on the lights in this shop.
All right.
So once I probably like 2 days after quitting, then I was like, oh, I figured out the name. Like in one day I did everything. I got the name. I did the registration. And I applied for all of my permits. Professional liability insurance, everything I could get done right away, I started moving that thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. So once I knew, I was like, I'm going full speed at it. I remember that by the first month, like I pretty much had everything done. Yes.
Wow.
Like logo, branding, website, everything.
That is impressive.
Yeah. I go full speed. Again, going back to how like I feel like entrepreneurs tend to be, it's like I was solely focused and I'm like, I have that one goal and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get there and give it my best shot.
That is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
That is super impressive. So, Victoria, how can
Yes.
people find you?
So people can find me in LinkedIn. I'm very active. So connect with me. Love to grab a cup of coffee with you. Also follow our firm, Novii CPA. We have amazing tips on accounting and other things tax related. So always fun. I'm sure that you're going to enjoy reading those tips.
What's the website?
NoviiCPA.com.
Okay, so it's
Yes.
Novii
CPA.com. Yes.
Awesome.
Remember the 2 I's for being cool.
That's awesome. That's just the world we live in now,
Yeah.
especially the biotech and all
Yeah.
this stuff. You got to add a Q or a Z.
Yes,
somewhere.
exactly.
I get it. I get it. This has been Authentic Business Adventures, the business program that brings you the struggle stories and triumphant successes of business owners across the land. We are locally underwritten by the Bank of Sun Prairie. My name is James Kademan. Authentic Business Adventures is brought to you by Calls on Call, offering call answering services for service businesses across the country, found on the web at callsoncall.com, as well as the Bold Business Book, a book for the entrepreneur in all of us, available wherever fine books are sold. We'd like to thank you, our wonderful listeners, as well as our guest, Victoria Thayer, owner, founder, chief cook and bottle washer of Novii CPA. So, Victoria, can you tell us that website one more time?
Yes, Novii, Novii, CPA.com.
Awesome. Past episodes can be found morning, noon, and night. The podcast link found at drawincustomers.com. Thank you for listening. We will see you next week. I want you to stay awesome. And if you do nothing else, enjoy your business.